Okay, it's the 16th of April. It's a Wednesday. We've got about just under 30 minutes to the NY Open. We'll go to the charts in a bit. Okay, let's start with the calendar. We got retail sales in about 57 minutes from now, right? So we've got plenty of time for analysis. I'm not going to be opening any trades before retail sales. Makes no sense because 8:30 a.m. Uh, is 8 a.m. is the New York Open, 8:30 a.m. is retail sales. So it's best makes sense to just wait for that. Okay, so we're going to take our time with the analysis today. Okay, just a second. Okay, daily. Now we've had a massive push today. Last 2 days were just price ranged. Um, we'll see that more clearly on the 4-hour time frame. But this morning we've had a massive push up. No bottom wick, straight push up, almost 900 pips, right? So these 2 days were low volume days. The previous daily candle was 240 pips. Very unusual for gold, especially over the last two weeks. That's very unusual volume. The day before was about 520 pips, but yesterday was 240 pips. No volume at all yesterday. But today we've had a sudden surge of volume. We've pushed past the previous high. Now I said I'm ignoring this candle because that's a doji, a bearish doji. So we've pushed past this high because we were bullish. If you ignore this, we were bullish. And then yesterday we had no volume. We had a small body bull candle. That's not a doji, but it's a small body bull candle. So that you can consider that as a candle. But this one I ignore this candle, right? And we push past this high, past 3250. We've already tapped 3,300. Now we spoke about this. We said that we're very likely heading towards 3,500, right? Because there's nothing to the left. And the only reason I say that is because of the volume of the daily candles, right? We've had 1,000 pip candles. So getting to 3,500 is very easy with this kind of volume, right? And we're seeing that volume today again, almost 900 pips. Is it 900 pips? Yeah, almost 900 pips. Okay, so, but as I said, anything to do with the tariffs can reverse this. 1,000, 2,000 pips to the downside, right? Because there is no information to the left. All of this volume, this movement, the volatility, the volume that's happening now is purely based on fundamentals. Okay. Yes, there are technical levels that we look at, and price does come to them, but the moves, this kind of volume, 1,000 pip candles on a daily basis, is all because of fundamentals of the tariffs. All right, let's go to our trading chart. Now, today, just to stay a bit more on the to just stay long on the daily. All right, now we're very likely to close a bullish candle with the kind of volume that we've been having, right? The question is, are we going to close above 3,300 or below it? If you're going to close above it, it's very likely the price will pull down, grab liquidity, and continue higher. If you're going to close below it, it's very likely price will push up, grab liquidity, and continue lower. Those are the two scenarios for today, okay? Let's go to the chart. Now, before we draw zones, let's just take a quick look at what happened yesterday. Um, we did take sells during the stream. Let's just see how they played out. And price did come. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Yeah, we took sells. Can't remember exactly where we took sells, but I remember saying that I were in sells somewhere here. I think probably somewhere here. I were in sells. I said that we were coming to 3212, 3208, and then if we have volume 3203. We came to 3212 and immediately reversed, right? So I got out there. I think I took out about 80-85% of my position there, and that's it. That was the end of the day, and there was no other trades for later on, right? I didn't give out, but these are the sells that we took. I said if you are taking trades, wait for 30 minutes support to form from a liquidity level, which it didn't. Price did not come to any liquidity level. We just ranged. We continue to range, right? Price came down, pushed back up, and just ranged for the rest of the day. So there was absolutely no chance of a trade. We didn't create resistance, nor did we create support, right? There is no tradable 30-minute back candle here after this push up, and there is no tradable 30-minute bull candle. There is this candle, but this is not from a liquidity level, right? The liquidity level is down here. This is the liquidity candle, and that's the BRN. Okay, so there was no trade, and you can see that price just ran, because if it doesn't grab, uh, if price doesn't grab liquidity, then it'll just range for the continuation of the session, and that's exactly what it did, right? We just ranged, and this was the open. It was today's open, so you can see how price ranged, because all of them are dojis. Almost all of these candles are dojis, on the 30-minute time frame, the ones before that and the ones after that. So there was no trade except for the sells that we took during the stream. There was no other trades. Okay, let's get rid of all of this and draw our zones and get ready for retail sales today. Now, before I forget, there are two new levels, two new SR lines, weekly SR lines that I've drawn. Again, these are temporary lines, right? 3194, 3244. Right, so we're going to update that on chart. The reason for this is we have one tap here. If you go down, we don't need to go down the 4, but if I just show you on the 4, this is what it looks like, right? So 3194, and then 3244. You can see the taps here on the 4 and also on the daily. There are two taps on the daily already, right? So those are the two new ones, 3244, 3194. Three one nine four and 3244. Okay. 3244, 3194, and 3167. Okay. All right, let's start. So here, I would consider this entire thing a zone now, because we have a lot of base in candles. Let's see how big that is. So 340 people. Yeah, let's draw the zone like this. So This would be the leg in. This is obviously the leg out, and this would be the leg in, and everything in between is the base, right? Because they're all stacked together. It's a range, right? That's the leg in, and this starts with this candle that has more collective wick than body, and then so does this, and these two are small body candles, and then this also has more collective wick than body, right? It ends with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in the base and the leg out. That's the base. So let's put the numbers on that. 166, 936. Okay. Now let's look at this area as well, because whenever price goes through a BRN or a weekly SR level, we have to go down to lower time frames to check if there is a base there, right? There's nothing on the 1 hour. Let's go to the 30-minute. Yeah, there is this zone on the 30-minute. Rally base rally. On the 1 hour, there is nothing. 4 there is nothing. 1 hour, nothing. Yeah, let's put the numbers on this. 271,837. 271,837. Okay. Let's look at this area as well. We've crossed a BRN, right? This candle has crossed the BRN. Okay, so let's look at this area. Yeah, we have a zone here. We have a zone here. We have a rally. This is a base. This is also a rally and a base and a rally base rally. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine that into one zone. Right? And then below down we have a rally base rally as well. Let's keep them as individual zones. I think that's better. Yeah. 182,604. Now, the reason we looked at this is because of the BRN, because price went through the BRN. But the reason I'm considering these 1 hour zones is because you got to remember that when you have high volume like this, right? Look at this daily candle. It's pushed straight past up these levels, right? There is no time for price to create zones on the 4 hour. There's a lot of volume. So you have to go down the 4 hour. You can see the price has stopped here, paused. We have a new candle, paused, a new candle here. We can't see zones here, right? Because there's a lot of volume. There's a surge of volume. That is why we're looking at the 1 hour. That's why we're considering these zones, these 1 hour zones, right? But this zone is because price has gone across uh, the BRN or the big round number. 378,924. Okay. And let's bring this down so we don't overlap it. Those are the zones, right? That's H1. It's a 1 hour zone. That's a 1 hour zone. It's a 30-minute zone. Should be pretty easy today. We're looking for the pullback and the move up. We're already pushing up past 3,300. We're heading to this high first and then probably continue even higher. Okay. Yeah, this is a 4-hour zone. Yeah, that's a 4-hour zone, right? The new one we drew. Okay. I think that's good enough. That's 800 pips to the downside. That's good enough. Okay, so we have new 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new demand zones. Okay, we're going to take a look at these zones in zones more closely. Okay, let's check supply. Let's just see if we have any sort of supply before we proceed. We have a rally and we have a base forming. Could be another rally. 10 minutes for the candle to close. Yeah, we could be pushing up. So there is no supply here. On the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, there is nothing. On the 1 hour, there is nothing. On the 30-minute, we have some sort of supply here. A rally, a base, and a drop. Let's mark it. Let's mark it. Let's mark this. Just look at the 15-minute. Yeah. 30-minute. Yeah. So let's mark it for now. 096 362. I'll probably take it off later, but let's just keep it for now. Okay. Okay. Now, let's take a look at these zones and see. Let's try to identify if they are high liquidity zones. Let's start with supply. We just have one. Has it taken out anything to the left? No, there is nothing. This on the 30-minute time frame, it hasn't taken out anything to the left, right? And that's as low as you need to go. So this is not a high liquidity zone. This 1 hour zone, has it taken out anything to the left? Let's see, I'll check on the 30-minute time frame. No, it hasn't, right? And we've already tapped it. It hasn't taken out anything to the left. There isn't supply here that price has taken out, right? So this is not a high liquidity zone. What about this one? This one, yes, we have a rally and we have a drop here. So there is a base there and prices pushed past that high. So this is a high liquidity zone. Let's bring this label over here. Okay, and what about this one here? We have a rally, a base, and you can see a drop probably on the 15-minute. You'll see, yeah, you have that, and price has taken out these highs. Even on the 30-minute, you can see that price has taken out. This is a base-in candle, has taken out this high here, right? Yeah, this high has been taken out by this candle, this push up. So this too is a high liquidity zone. And has this taken out anything? Let's see if it's taken out anything to the left. Yeah, this base has taken out these highs here. This candle has taken out these highs, making this to a high liquidity zone. And this one, this big one here, yeah, so this has taken out that there is a supply here, a rally base drop here, and even a base and a drop here that has been taken out by, yeah, this candle right here. Yeah, this candle right here that started from this move up has taken out this high and this high. Okay, done. Okay. Okay, let's see if price is to reverse here. We also have a level here, a psychological round number here, and a 30-minute clear rejection and a close below that. It would be this wick. This is a liquidity wick, right? Now there is nothing to the left, so we don't know why price did that, but that is definitely a liquidity wick. It's a massive push down. It's a 175 pip push down, just a wick. So we're going to mark that wick, right? That's the first most obvious thing to do. Okay, let's go down to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, that would be that candle. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame. Be that candle. On the 5 minutes, it's a 158 pip candle. Wow, 159. Let's go to the 1 minute. 78. 2, 70. This one right here. 78. Let's keep it on the 1 minute. This candle right here. 469690. Yeah, perfect. All right. So that's a liquidity candle right there. The reason I marked that is you can see this 30-minute massive 175 pip wick, right, pushing price down, and that's where the majority of the liquidity is, in that zone right there. That's a 78 pip zone, right? Okay. Further down here, let's look at this area. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Start with the 1 hour. Doesn't seem like there's anything there. On the 15-minute, no, there's nothing here, right? On this area, there is nothing. I don't see anything there. Let's start here. This wick here, let's start with that wick. How big is that wick? It's 125 pip wick. Perfect. On the 30-minute time frame, it would be this candle. The 15-minute time frame, it's 111 pips. 109. 94. Yeah, let's go with the 30-minute candle, because that's a bullish engulfing candle. Let's go with this candle, even though it's large. Yeah, let's go there. 763924. 63924. Price is pushing past that liquidity. Once you break this high, we're going to continue high, and that's the reason I drew this, because it's good to know where the break is. So once we break this high, which is 331469, then that's it. Unless we break and close back inside, we're heading higher. Okay, right. Let's look at the next zone. That is that candle here. It's probably this candle or this candle. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, we have 156 pip candle here. Yeah. The 15-minute, 114. Yeah, that would be the candle. You can see the tap here. Yeah, this would be the candle. 695598. Okay, and then further down we have two more zones. Let's start again with the 1 hour. There's nothing here on the 1 hour. The 30-minute, also nothing. The 15-minute, also nothing. Right? Except for this candle right here. Except for this candle right here. Let's take a look at that on the 5-minute. Yeah, that's a candle for sure. 5-minute candle. 185120. And it covers both the psychological round number and the weekly SR level. Perfect. Okay. Then last zone here. We're pushing back down from this. Okay. Let's look at this one. Let's go to the 1 hour. This is the NY open, but we still have another 30 minutes finished, so we're going to take our time with this. This is okay. I'm going to bring this down so we don't overlap this zone. This low is 166, so let's bring it down to 140 pip candle. This is a 160 pip candle. Start with this. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. There's definitely a lot of liquid, a lot of volume here. It's a 153 pip candle. And this is 138. go to the 15. $90, 77, 83, 76 would be this one. 83, 61, yeah. This candle right here. 189, 299. Done. That's it. Okay. Yeah. The reason I have this liquidity candle quite wide, 180 pips, is because on the 30 minute is because of this. You can see the tap here. That's important. And that's one. Second thing is that this candle is a bullish engulfing candle, and that's important, right? That's important. That's when you can see the tap here. But if you go down to the 15 minute, then, and if I take this candle as a liquidity candle, price hasn't tapped it, right? This shows that that price has grabbed liquidity. It confirms the fact that this is a liquidity candle. Just like this, see? This wick push down confirms the fact that we drew the liquidity candle correctly. That's exactly what is happening here. All right. Next step is we're going to identify, we're going to see what price has done in the, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to see what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, and then possibly we could see what price could do in the first couple of hours of the NY session. Okay, so I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. All right. Let's go to the 50-minute time frame. See where the market opened. It's the market opened. We opened at around 32.31, right? The market opened around 32.31. Yeah, we're just pushing up today. We are pushing up today. Yeah, we're just pushing up today. There's no pullbacks. Okay, so in the Asian session we pushed 280, let's say 300 pips, and in the London session also 300 pips. So 300 pips in the Asian, 300 pips in the London, right? And we're just pushing up. Now, what did the market really do? We ranged second half of NY session, and then there was some fundamental news that came out, I think. Something to do with the tariffs. Let's just look at the news calendar. Yeah, there was something to do with the tariffs. Some news that would have come out, right? Yeah, there was some news that came out. And price just pushed up 440 pips, pulled back, created the Asian low. There was so much of volume, right? This was caused by fundamentals because there is no liquidity grab, nothing, right? There is no liquidity grab anywhere. This is caused this push up. The market opened, no bottom wick on the daily, and price pushed up 450 pips. That is just fundamentals, right? No technicals there. Tried to come down, didn't need to come down to grab liquidity. It was so bullish. Created the Asian low, pushed up 300 pips, created the Asian high, tried to pull back again, didn't need to because it's very bullish. Closed at the Asian high, closed the next one closed above, ranged a little bit to create the London low, pushed straight past 3,300, closed above it, the next one closed above it again, and we created the London high, right? We formed 30-minute resistance there. That's that candle, and closed below 3,300. Came back. We created a liquidity candle, but we haven't tapped it in the London session. We haven't tapped it yet. That's interesting. It's tapped it there, but it hasn't properly tapped it. We're bouncing off near 3,300. Now the thing is this: 3,300 is in the way. So either we are buying well below from here to push up, or we are buying at 3,300 or above. We're not. Sorry. We're not buying just under 3,300, or we're not selling just above 3,300, right? That's an important level. So you're buying well below it. We're looking to buy well below at the liquidity candle. So which means if you're buying well below, should be at the liquidity candle, because that will have a good 120, 130 pip push up then, or at the EMA, or we are buying at 3,300 to push up, because we've already consumed the liquidity candle. Price has gone deep into it, and this is not a high liquidity zone. So we could be heading higher. We tap this and then we push. If we close above the London high, we continue higher. Where, we don't know, because there is no price action to the left. We're at all-time highs. We could be heading to 3,350. Now let's take a closer look at this. We've rejected form resistance. This is pre-NY. This is pre-NY. Yeah, these cells are not worth it, because you've got, even if you take cells up here, it's not worth it. No, it's not worth it, because you've got 3,300 here. And you can't sell below this if you got demand. So it's buys. It's only buys, but buys from here or from here. We have support formed, pre-NY. No bottom wick. Price could come down, tap this, and then push up. Yeah, we'll have to wait for news. We'll have to wait for the first 15-minute candle to close. News candle to close. All right. The only time I trade news is CPI and NFP, because we look at the 5-minute time frame. We wait for the 5-minute candle to close. But when it's any other news event, we have to wait for the 15-minute candle to close, right? 15 minutes, sometimes even 30-minute candle to close, depending on how and where the candles close. Like if it's a doji, then you got to wait for the next candle to close, right? So we're going to wait for the first 15-minute candle to close. We're not going to do anything until then. There is 30 minutes support formed here, but this candle has no bottom wick. And yeah, it has no bottom wick. So we could push down. For sells, we've already formed resistance. If you get in there, that's a 100 pip drop. 300, and here 150 pip drop. Yeah, you can take it if you get in here. Stop loss above the London high. The deeper the better. You can take, because 30-minute resistance has formed inside pre-NY. We have rejected the the London high and we've closed, so we can come to the London low. We can take sells here, but the deeper you get the sells, the better, because then you have 100 pips at least to 3,300, and then 150 pips to that candle low, 30-minute low, and then about 200 pips to the liquidity candle, 230 pips to the liquidity candle. Yeah, you can. You got to be careful though, because we're very bullish. This is a counter trend trade. 362, 307, 307, 362. Yeah, I want to see a 15-minute candle, maybe close. Maybe let's see if we get a tap here. If we get a tap here, I might take a sell. Might take a sell here. That's 110 pips. That's good. And that's 160 if you come to this. Yeah. Yeah, we can take sells for news. We can take sells for news because we are inside a zone. We formed 30-minute resistance. Yeah. Yeah, up here. If you come up here, great. I'd be willing to take a sell up here. Yeah, up here. We seem to be pushing down. Seem to be pushing down. Still got about 8 minutes in use. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. It should be coming down. What numbers are they expecting? They're expecting good numbers, right? Expecting good numbers. If you have good numbers, we might come down and later on then continue to push up. So we might come down. 3,300 and then here. Six. Let's see. Another minute more. I might take a sell if you come up here. If you come up here, take a sell. We have formed 30-minute resistance in pre and Y. Could push down. There's no bottom wick on this candle. Could push down. Let's see. Stop loss would be, aggressive stop loss would be above this candle wick right here or above the London high. Pushing down. We are going up. Still ranging there. If we come to 3311, I might take a sell to come down. 3311. Let's see if you can get there. 15-minute time frame, no volume. It's no volume on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it's no volume. Might push up to here. 3311. I'll take an entry at 3311 if we get there. To push down to 3300. Yeah, on the 15-minute there is no volume. So the overall higher time frame idea is bullish, right? We are bullish, but price will likely need to come down to 3,300 or even to this area down here to grab liquidity, right? So the areas of liquidity are 3,300, then the liquidity candle and the EMA, right? So that's the whole idea for this trade. I think we should come up here before we continue down, but I don't know. Let's see. We've already tapped it. There is a clean rejection there, pre-NY, just before the NY open. So we might come to tap that again just once more before we push down. We formed 30-minute resistance. Yeah. Okay, so I'm waiting here for a sell. 3,311. 3,311. To push down, that's 110 pips. If we have a clear rejection here, and we form 30-minute resistance in pre-NY, that's a clear 30-minute resistance right there. This support has no bottom wick, so we should push down. But I'm waiting here. The deeper you get your entry, the better, right? The lower your risk will be. So stop loss would be above this liquidity candle high, right? Safer stop loss above the London high. But I want it here. If it doesn't come there, fine, no problem. But that's where I want to wait for an entry, here. Yeah, we have no volume on the 15-minute time frame. There you can see they're just dojis. There is no volume. 40 pip candle, also around roughly 40 pip candle, 45 pip candle. So there is no volume. No volume yet. It should come here before we push down to 3,300. So far, no volume. News didn't bring any volume. We spoke about this yesterday, that news wasn't going to bring any volume, right? We saw how CPI was just completely overshadowed by the tariff news. That's the biggest thing so far. So that's that uh, that's the highlight. Whatever news on tariffs is what's going to move the market. It's none of these news events, especially something like retail sales is not going to do anything. On any other week, if there was no tariff talk, there were no fundamental news, then for sure you could expect retail sales to have volume. If you go look at the past, when retail news data comes out, there is volume, but not this week. We're still struggling there, probably creating another doji. Yeah, there's nothing yet. Still ranging. The idea for this trade is, again, I'll repeat, 30-minute resistance has formed inside pre-NY hours. We have a liquidity candle here. This candle has no bottom wick. We've rejected the London high. That's the fourth reason. And then we have a clear rejection from here, right? So the 15-minute, this high broke this high, this one broke this high, and we're anticipating price to come down to here, 3293. Right, past this, but first it needs to get to 3300, then 3296, then 3293. It's nothing yet. Yeah, we didn't push up all the way here. We tapped 3208.5 and dropping 57 pips, 82. Can take an entry here. I just waited here for deeper, but you can take an entry here. We're coming up now. Let's see. If you get up here, I'll take an entry. Yeah, took one entry there. Stop loss is high 774. $560. 331560, 331774. Probably close. If we break this high, I'll probably close everything. I'll close it. Pushing up. Yeah. 331560. Three 1774. Yeah, we're pushing up. We're pushing up. Yeah, we're closing a bull candle there. A minute and a half for the candle to close, and it's closing bullish. What was this low? 496. This low was 490. Yeah, 15-minute candle is about to close, and we're closing very bullish to push up. Yeah, if you break this high, I'm going to close, I think. Possibly. Yeah. 264. Six four. Yeah, no top wick. No top wick. Pushing up. 1362. 25 pips. Hmm. Mhm. Yeah, once we break this high, I'm closing it. 1362. That'll be 25 pips, 25, yeah. 26, 25, 26 pips. Yeah, just close that trade. It makes no sense. We're trying to push up. We tapped this candle low that had no bottom wick, and we pushed up. Maybe that was all that was needed. Maybe it didn't need to come to this 3,300 to grab liquidity. It's a lot driven on fundamentals. A lot driven on fundamentals. Still pushing down. It can break the high at any time. This high, once it breaks it, we're pushing straight up there. Yeah, I wouldn't risk trying to take sells here. It's just it's best to wait at a liquidity area. And if it comes to a liquidity level, yeah, wait for support or resistance form, take the trade. If not, just wait because we've already moved almost 900 pips today. So this is anticipating a bit of a pullback before we continue higher, but seems like price doesn't need to pull back at all. It's just push straight up 100 pips. You want one of these candles to form to continue down. Yeah, we are pushing down now, but I'm not going to take any trades here. Just don't like the massive push up. We could create a bottom wick and push back up at any point. Yeah, not. Yeah, tap this resistance and pushing back up. 5 minutes more for the 15-minute candle to close. It needs to close bearish. If price is to push down to 3,300, it needs to close bearish. And a tradable 15-minute back candle needs to close. Now that price has now created support here and pushed up and created 50-minute support. Now a 15-minute back candle needs to close. Now it should needs to be a tradable 15-minute back candle for price to continue to 3,300 or 3296. If not, we're pushing higher. Yeah, we're tapping this area. We're pushing for creating support to push up. Mm. Created support. I'm waiting down for buys. For buys, I'm waiting down here, and I know that it might not come because price is very bullish, and we might just continue from here on. Might just continue on another 200-300 pips. We might continue up, but I'm not willing to buy inside supply. I'd like to see a tap of 3,000 at 3,300 at least. Tapped it here, created support. Yeah, well, at least a tap here. Support, some sort of support to form to push back up. Uh, 2.5 minutes for the 50-minute candle to close. It's getting closer to the NYSE open as well. The range probably possibly ranging until then. We might have volume come in after NYSE open. Mm-hmm. 30-minute candle likely to close a doji again. Previous one also was a doji. This is also probably going to close a doji. Let's see if the candle can close bearish, then we could continue to push down. Can we break this low? Yeah. Can continue to come down. We closed a bearish tradable 15-minute back candle. We can tap. We can come down now. 3,300 is possible. Yeah. We've tapped this 3308. You can take an entry. Price will come here. Yeah, that's a tradable the 15-minute back candle. Form resistance, we form support, then we form resistance, and we broke the low. Should come down. How much is that candle? 78 pips. Yeah, we should come here. Taken an entry on my other account right here. 78 pips. That is volume. Out of the 1 hour candle, so close to doji on the 1 hour. 30-minute is a doji. 15-minute we have a bear candle. So on the 1 hour, all of these candles are dojis. All of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, just ranging. 30-minute, also dojis, the previous two. You're still trying to push up. Yeah, it's just better off to wait. Better off to wait. We're just ranging or we're trying to push up. There is no signal. Just on the 15-minute, there is a chance that we could go down, but there is no real signal that to push down. It's better off to wait, not do anything. It's nothing yet. Yeah, it's nothing happening. We're just ranging. Very similar to yesterday. We're just ranging. That tells you everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours been ranging. We're still ranging. Yeah, at least a 30-minute candle should have closed resistance. We should have formed resistance again here. If we form resistance, that's a sign that we could push down. We don't have. We form resistance here, then we form support here. We needed to form at least this candle should have closed a bearish doji forming resistance. Maybe then the sells would have been fine. But right now, nothing. We're just pushing up. Don't try to take sells. I taken one sell on my other account. I closed it. Five-minute candle is closing bullish. 15-minute candle also will likely close bullish. Continue to push up. Yeah, we're going up. We're going up. Yeah. We have a bullish candle here. We're pushing up now. 32. Yeah, we're pushing past this high. Hmm. 2 minutes more for the candle to close. Looks like we're closing a doji again. Looks like we're closing a bullish doji again. Yeah, 15 minutes more for the NYSE Open. I think we're going to range like yesterday. Here's what you should be looking for. So here's what you should be looking for to take buys from a liquidity area. Wait for 30 minutes support to form and take buys from a liquidity area. That's it. That's what you should be waiting for. Close to bearish doji, continuing to push down. Snow bottom wick here. Just give me a second, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Yeah, so what I was saying is you got to wait for maybe 30 minute support to form at a liquidity area to take buys. Yeah, we could come to 3,300, but yeah, maybe this candle But it's not a, it's an okay trade. It's not a great trade. I mean, price is just ranging. Doji's forming. Um, it's not a, it meets the requirements. We had 30-minute resistance form in pre-NY. We have this candle 15-minute tradable back candle close forming 15-minute resistance. This one tapped here, 3311, and price dropped. Could drop here, but if you just look at the 1 hour time frame, we're just ranging. It's not a. It's better to wait for 30-minute resistance to take a trade when price is ranging. Always better. I'd taken one trade here, I closed it. I didn't like it. The price had pushed up. This 15-minute candle pushed all the way up. I didn't like it. Price could easily break this low, grab liquidity, and push straight back up. NYSE open in 30 minutes, in 10 minutes. Just wait for 30 minutes support to form. That's my only advice. Wait for 30 minutes support to form. Ideally at a touch of 3,300, price to touch that, form 30-minute support or any one of the other liquidity areas, and then look for trades. If price creates 30-minute support here and pushes up, I wouldn't take that trade. To me, price has to create uh, zones at liquidity levels, not just anywhere. Yeah, it's nothing. Pushing back up. We could form 30-minute support here, 15-minute support here, but oh, there we go. It's a massive push down. Whoa. Yeah, we tapped 3300. Coming down to 3296. Yeah, that eventually did work out, 115 pips, but I didn't take that trade. Yeah, 3296 and then 3293. So for today, for the next 2 hours, next 2 to 2.5 hours, so that's until about 11:30 a.m. EST or around 12 noon EST, look for buys. 30 minutes support, wait for 30 minutes support to form at any one of the liquidity areas, either at 3,300 or the liquidity candle or the EMA. 30 minutes support to form, 30-minute tradable, 30-minute bull candle to close, and wait for the pullback and take the trades to come up. And where are we coming back up to? Here, 3307 and 3312. 3307, 3312. Right? Those are the areas that come in. If you form support down here, that's where you want to take our TP. Stop loss, safer stop loss would be under the liquidity candle low or under the 30-minute candle low that created support. We are rejecting off 3,300. Got that? Tap it, rejecting, pushing up. That's why that area was TP1 from here. That's 110 pips, pushing all the way back up. Okay, we are closing dojis. This is why this 30-minute candle is also likely to close a doji. Right? And it's not my kind of price action when it closes, when we are closing dojis like this on the 1 hour time frame. The 4 hour candle is likely to close a doji in about 30 minutes. 1 hour time frame, it's all dojis. 30-minute time frame, we are also seeing dojis. 15-minute time frame also. Yeah, we're having some moves down, but no clean moves down, no clean push down or push up. Price is moving down, coming back up, right? And also we've got 3,300. So I said no taking sells here, just above it. Sells were up here. Now I did close my trade, even though we didn't break the high. As soon as we came close to it, I closed the trade. Maybe I shouldn't have. In hindsight, I should have left it. That would have been a 133 pip drop if I left it. Because that's where the aggressive stop loss would be, above 3313.62. And a more conservative stop loss would be there above the London high or even above the liquidity candle high. Right? Okay, so price did work. We drew the fib based on this candle because 30-minute resistance that had formed inside pre-NY hours. So yeah, 30-minute resistance had formed inside pre-NY hours. That's the reason we drew the fib like this. This candle broke this high, this candle broke this high. Fib was drawn, price came to this sniper entry, 3311, and it did drop to 3,300 as expected. But it took time, and also it just ranged quite a bit, pushed back up. This candle pushed all the way up, this candle pushed down, this candle pushed back up, this candle pushed down, now it's pushing back up. It's not clean moves. The price action is okay, but it's not clean moves. Yeah, yeah. So again, for today, for the next 2 hours or 2.5 hours, Buys are the trade idea. Maybe wait for this low to be taken out. It's very likely that price will push down and take out this 30-minute low, or maybe form 30-minute support here. If it doesn't form a tradable 30-minute bull candle close here and 30-minute support form here, then wait for the low to be taken out first and then for support to form, for price to push back up, right? And that candle, 30-minute, 15-minute candle close to doji again, and the 30-minute candle is also a doji again, right? So we have 3 consecutive dojis. Price is just very ugly, very ugly. It's not clean, nice price action to trade. Very similar to what we had yesterday. Look at this, how ugly it was. This is exactly what we're having today, right? Look at these dojis on the 30-minute time frame. Look at the amount of dojis, and that's exactly what we're having now. And this is not the best conditions to trade in. You want clean moves either up or down. So if a price is to move up, break the high, it needs to move up cleanly, break the high, then either close back in the range so we can take sells to come down, or break the high and pull back and form 30-minute support so that we can take the buys to go up, right? But that hasn't happened yet. We're just still ranging at this liquidity candle in the supply zone. For the last hour and a half, we've been ranging. This is 3 30-minute candles. That's 1.5 hours. Price has just been ranging. Now we form 30-minute resistance, but that's a doji, right? And also you don't want to take sells here when price has already tapped 3,300. It's tapped it already. So we could form 30-minute support and push up from now. So you got to be careful. Before it tapped, that was the trade to take from there, from the sniper level 3311. You could have taken that, like I said, but don't take it now because price has already tapped it. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the decision is. Is price going to continue down, or are we going to, now since we've tapped it, are we going to form 30-minute support? Is price going to come down, create a bottom wick, close a 30-minute bull candle to continue up, right? We don't know that because we've already tapped 3,300. So it's best to wait, right? Wait for the 4-hour candle to close, right? Let's wait for the 4-hour candle to close, and then best suggestion is to look for buys from a liquidity area. Wait for 30-minute support to form and look for buys from a liquidity area. Your TPs are here. Let's get rid of all of this. Those are the TPs for the buys from down here. If you get buys down here, 3307, 3312, 3317. Those are the TPs for the buys, right? All right. Price just range, just like yesterday. There's nothing much I can do about trying to take a trade because we just ranged. The setup did kind of work. We did come to 3,300 as expected, but we're forming dojis and the market's very slow. Okay, so this is the end of the stream. I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST, and we'll do our analysis and see if we have a trade. Hopefully, we won't have dojis like this. We'll have clean moves, similar to what we had on when was this? On Tuesday, on Monday. This was clean. Price came, formed 30-minute support, 15-minute support, 30-minute support as well, 15-minute support. At the BRN, pushed all the way up, right? That's clean. Even the drop down is clean. A clean push down. But yesterday and today was really, yesterday was pretty bad, and today is also looking like that. All right, back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care, stay safe, don't over trade, don't over risk. All right, take care.